Tonight, concerns swirling around the plan for Lansdowne 2.0.
It's a nice space in the middle of the city. To have residential towers, it seems the wrong spot.
What people in the area and the local trades council has to say before a final decision on the project later this week. Looking ahead to a crucial budget that could spark a federal election.
It does feel like a game of chicken. No one is saying they're going to back the government. No one is saying they're going to back down on this budget vote.
Amid a trade war with the U.S. and financial pressures hitting the bottom lines of Canadians, what to expect in Mark Carney's first budget as Prime Minister. And a one-stop shop for trinkets from across the globe.
We specialize in unique, one-of-a-kind pieces for the house, for clothing.
The One World Bazaar opens its doors, welcoming shoppers in search of that perfect gift. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with more reaction surrounding Lansdowne 2.0. Ottawa's plan goes before City Council on Friday, and while it appears to be set to pass, not everyone is happy with the current plans. CTV's Josh Morano joins us live after talking to some people who frequent the area. So, Josh, what are you hearing?
Yeah, Austin, I heard some strong opposition today. With the future of Lansdowne Park almost decided, many are wondering what the space will look like in a few years. We stopped by the Ottawa Farmers Market to find out what people think about the next phase of development. For Glenn Peacock and Jennifer Morris, hitting the Lansdowne Farmers Market is one of their favorite Sunday activities.
If it becomes a hassle to get down here, we just won't.
But with Lansdowne 2.0 on the horizon, concerns about how it will be built and the future of the area are sparking questions.
The arena needs to be replaced, but bringing two huge high-rises here is a little bit, it's a little bit daunting.
I'm really upset. I think it's a terrible waste of money, and it's going to wreck a perfectly good facility here as well.
The city's latest redevelopment plan includes 2 residential towers, new north side stands at TD Place, a new 5,500-seat arena, and updated public spaces.
People can come down here on the weekends or weekdays and roam, and it's a nice space in the middle of the city. To have residential towers, it seems the wrong spot.
Some say Lansdowne's charm comes from its local feel, something they don't want lost in redevelopment.
We're seeing some of the people that are normally here are coming to the Barhaven Market on Sundays, so that may stop us and we'll just walk there instead.
I don't think there's the right level of trust, really, in council that they're making, that there's confidence that we're making the right decision.
Ottawa's Building Trades Union also taking issue with the plan, furious that the city awarded the construction to EBC Inc., a firm headquartered in Quebec City. In a letter sent to City Council obtained by CTV, the union states, "This race to the bottom, lowest bid process undermines our collective efforts to make our local economy stronger, and it builds upon the growing distrust many people feel toward elected officials." City Councillor Riley Brockington says there were 3 bids for the project, but states a good price for taxpayers was top priority.
At the end of the day, we want to support as many local companies as possible, but we also want to make sure that we protect taxpayer dollars. So it's a Canadian company, maybe not local, but that's one thing that, again, we have to balance.
The city says it's confident the redevelopment will boost tourism and help offset operating costs in the long term, but Peacock isn't sold.
The dense population is a good thing, but there is a point where it gets to be too much. So
yeah.
We're up in the air on this one.
The final vote is set for Friday, and if approved, Lansdowne 2.0 will begin with construction of the new arena and underground parking, which could start within a few years. Still, as we just heard, many say the city's next big project has a lot to prove. Austin.
And we will continue to follow it, and that decision coming on Friday. Josh, thank you very much for this. Well, all eyes across Canada will be on the nation's capital this week as the federal government is set to release its long-anticipated budget. It will be Mark Carney's first as Prime Minister, and it comes at a critical time with elevated trade tensions between Canada and the United States. CTV's Natalie Van Roy joins us live in studio to break it all down. Natalie.
Austin, the government will table its budget on Tuesday, and this budget is the Liberals' first fiscal update in about a year and a half, and it marks a real test for the Prime Minister in his minority on Parliament Hill, triggering a confidence vote. Now, the budget comes in the wake of U.S. President Donald Trump halting trade talks due to an anti-tariff ad released by the Ontario government. Several key Canadian industries have been taking a hit from the ongoing trade war with the U.S., and the budget is expected to provide relief to some of these industries, including steel and aluminum and the auto sector. Federal ministers have previously stated that Canadians could see some tax cuts and increase in defense and infrastructure spending. Now, speaking to CTV Question Period host Vashi Capellos, former federal finance minister Bill Morneau says Ottawa needs to focus on completing certain major projects like they did with the Trans Mountain Pipeline.
The government needs to do three things at the same time. They need to calmly and coolly think about how we are going to deal with our partner in the United States. And we, of course, will continue to have a very significant relationship there. We need to be thinking about diversification in terms of exports, but also how we work with other countries. So trying to get investing into Canada. And then finally, obviously, investing in our country.
In the months leading up to this week, the Prime Minister has framed the budget as one of austerity and investment.
We can spend our time watching Truth Social, worrying about the reactions of individual things. We are staying calm, okay? We're focusing on what we can control, which first and foremost is how we build at home. And secondly, with our negotiations with the U.S., when they're on, when they come back on, is what's in the best interests of Canada.
A record deficit is also expected, and with the Liberals holding a minority government, they will need the support from another party to pass the budget. The Public Service Alliance of Canada is also warning about the possibility of deep job cuts, including tens of thousands of workers in the federal public service. Now, Pierre Poilievre was also in the nation's capital today speaking to reporters. We will have more on what he had to say ahead of Tuesday later in the show. Austin.
Okay, CTV's Natalie Van Roy reporting live for us tonight. Natalie, thank you very much. And as the minority Liberal government prepares to deliver its budget again on Tuesday, one of the Canadian industries hit hard by U.S. tariffs is sharing what they want to see. CTV's Sarah Plowman has more from those in the forestry sector.
Trees cannot shelter woodlot owners from uncertainty as U.S. tariffs and duties pile up.
I think everyone's feeling a lot of apprehension.
Harvesting timber has been tough to plan, while Canada's long-standing softwood lumber dispute with the U.S. worsens. U.S. tariffs and duties sit at 45%, but there's a threat to tack on another 10. Some U.S. customers are no longer buying.
There's a lot of mills that have bought wood traditionally from Western New Brunswick in the form of roundwood that are no longer even accepting wood.
This while home building in the States has slowed. Already, some Canadian mills have cut back or closed.
The fact is, as an industry in general, I would say we're at a tipping point right now, and that's why there's the urgency.
In August, the Prime Minister visited Nick Arkle's mill in BC to announce more than $1 billion in support for the softwood lumber industry. Arkle wants the sector to be a priority in any trade talks.
We need to have an agreement, and it needs to be an agreement that we can live with.
In the upcoming budget, industry associations expect details on Ottawa's spending to help the sector diversify markets and innovate.
Let's use this as a moment to future-proof and future-ready our industry and to support our workers.
And if needed, they want a commitment for more support.
If this thing drags out, $1.25 billion is not going to be nearly enough.
Unifor says hundreds of jobs have been lost, some short-term, others indefinitely.
While we're in this trade war, we have to keep workers working and keep this industry surviving.
It's a challenging industry to operate in, especially as the situation keeps changing. Sarah Plowman, CTV News, Fredericton.
And CTV News will have special coverage of the budget in 2025, hosted by Chief Anchor and Senior Editor Omar Sajidina and Chief Political Correspondent Vashi Capellos. Coverage starts on Tuesday at 4 p.m. on CTV News Channel and at ctvnews.ca. Taking our first look at the weather forecast here, a nice shot behind me of the NCC River House, but it's really not the kind of day that a lot of people were wanting to get out onto the water. Some overcast conditions, and right now feeling cool, right around seasonal, 5 degrees, but we did get slightly above the seasonal mark. Usually we're sitting at around 6 degrees for this time of year as our daily high, and tonight's low will be warmer than the seasonal low. It's 2 degrees is what we expect things to drop down to at some point this evening. Kingston 5 and Trenton at 4 degrees. Those will be the warm spots, along with Pembroke at 4 degrees as well. 4 degrees in Gatineau too, and same with Petawawa. So a mixed bag of temperatures across the board, but really similar conditions, overcast, and we do expect that to carry over into the next couple of days with some showers coming through here in the capital. 10 degrees is the high tomorrow, 12 in Kingston, 11 in Brockville, 12 in Montreal, and 10 in Gatineau as they wrap up voting in Gatineau right now in the municipal election. But again, showers expected across much of the region. Well, it's the day after a devastating loss for the Toronto Blue Jays, who failed to secure a World Series win despite the team's best efforts. Toronto's game against the LA Dodgers went right down to the wire in dramatic fashion.
High fly to left. He's hit it a long way. And it's gone.
Will Smith's solo home run gave the Dodgers the tiebreaker they would need to win. Toronto led early with 3 runs to 0 in the 3rd inning, but the Dodgers mounted a comeback that saw them force extra innings. With the win, LA is now back-to-back World Series champions. And Jays manager John Schneider says the team has now set a new expectation that they hope to meet, starting with spring training in February.
I feel for the guys. You know what I mean? This is a special group of guys. That being said, I am so proud of them, of the entire organization, really. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm at. We've set a new expectation and a new standard here, and did it with a lot of hard work, did it with a lot of cohesiveness, and man, it's tough to say bye to this group.
And this was a historic World Series as well. It included several records, including the World Series first pinch hit grand slam and an 18-inning game back in Game 3. We also saw the first back-to-back homers to open a game, and 22-year-old Jays pitcher Trey Yesavage striking out 12 batters during his start in Game 5. Well, Ontario is taking a more active role in recruiting doctors from Quebec. CTV spoke to a physician who got a phone call directly from Premier Doug Ford saying the province is welcoming her with open arms. It comes as doctors are again protesting in Quebec against Bill 2. CTV's Sweeta Rassi has that story.
Hi, it's Doug Ford calling. Thank you so much for your message, and I open my arms to all the great doctors in Quebec.
That's the voice of Ontario Premier Doug Ford, leaving a voicemail on the phone of a Montreal doctor last night.
And he was very happy and he was very welcoming for all of us.
Shortly after, Kim Levesque says she got a call from Ontario's health minister explaining how she could transfer her medical license.
I think I will do the process just to have some options.
It all comes in the wake of Bill 2, passed last week. The new law changes how doctors are paid, tying compensation to performance targets. If those targets are not met, they could face financial penalties. The situation got the attention of Ford.
Call 1-800-DOUG-FORD, all the docs, and come by, call me on my cell phone. It's on the internet. We'll have you working real quick.
That same day, Quebec Premier François Legault criticized Ford's message.
This is unacceptable. It's a total lack of judgment.
Despite the friction, Ford continues to take phone calls from Quebec doctors.
When I heard his message at first, I was very surprised. I was very glad that he returned my call.
Levesque is not the only one keeping her options open. According to Quebec's College of Physicians, nearly 200 doctors already have their license to work in Ontario. Another 200 are in the process of getting it. On Saturday, hundreds of doctors in Montreal and Quebec City took to the streets protesting Bill 2.
I've never seen so much distress in my colleagues. People are crying, people are stressed out. I'm going to be able to treat my patients, and it's terrible. The system is crumbling.
Doctors say the law turns healthcare into a numbers game.
The government cares nothing about quality. They're looking at metrics. They want the numbers down, and that's it.
Bill 2 was fast-tracked and passed less than 24 hours after it was tabled. The CAQ government says the new law is here to stay. And for hundreds of doctors, their next move could be across the provincial border. Sweeterasi, CTV News.
Well, if you're looking for a great place to kill some time over the weekend, the One World Bazaar is back. It's a very popular shop with a cultural celebration, and it's also a global marketplace. There's a barn full of unique and hard-to-find items, and CTV's Camille Wilson got the chance to check it out firsthand. So tell us, Camille, what can people expect here?
Austin, talk about the whole world underneath one roof with music, food, products, scents, sounds from all across the globe, and expecting the unexpected. I myself was taken away with the one-of-a-kind pieces and beautiful artistry. Tony Hahn and Zaina Elhara are on a mission to grab some great finds.
We're renovating our kitchen, so we're just looking for unique things here and there to put on the shelves.
The pair are no strangers to the One World Bazaar, the fall pop-up that lasts only 10 weekends in the city.
We usually come here every year. It's a nice Sunday afternoon sort of date thing to do.
A heritage barn packed with homemade goods, colors, textures from clothing, jewelry, dishes, home decor, and furniture. Operating for 44 years, 22 in Ottawa, the owners believe in the beauty of seeing raw materials come to life in the hands of artisans who have honed their traditional crafts.
We poke around and look at all the beautiful and interesting artisan work from all around the world.
Items flying in from different corners of the globe, like South America, Africa, Asia, and like this piece, Indonesia.
Our business model is overstimulate people when they walk in the door. I think people just want something different, want some uniqueness in their homes, in their wardrobes, from a jewelry perspective, and I think we've done a really great job of making it a unique experience.
Bacher, her husband, and mom shop the world for you, going to different countries, working directly with the artisans, bringing the goods back to Ottawa. And for first-timers, it can be overwhelming.
First time checking out the market. It's cool to see all the handcrafted goods here.
I was just stopping at this area because I was looking for my grandchildren, and it's so colorful. I thought, what am I going to get for my grandchildren? And I might just find something here because there's lots to find and lots to see, and I think my whole family would like it.
Looks like Tony and Zaina were able to grab something unique to take home.
It's just one of those things that if you live in Ottawa, you got to make sure you do it every fall because it's just a wonderful place.
Working in partnership with the talented artisans of the many countries, through every purchase, they are paid a fair living wage that allows the crafters to support their families in a sustainable way. One World Bazaar is open every weekend until November 23rd. Austin.
Okay, thank you very much for this, Camille. Really appreciate it.
I can't leave here until they can come back with me.
Straight ahead, a Canadian man struggled to get his family safely out of Jamaica in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. Before we go to break, there's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Obviously, the sun's setting about an hour earlier now. It's 5 degrees. There are questions about whether the Team Canada approach pitched by federal and provincial leaders could be breaking down. CTV's Jeremy Sharon has more on the revelations of a disagreement over whether to run that anti-tariff ad.
Speaking to reporters in Asia for the last time before returning to Ottawa, the first questions Prime Minister Mark Carney faced were about his conversation with Ontario Premier Doug Ford about this anti-tariff ad that has halted trade negotiations with the U.S.
Since you're the person that's solely responsible for negotiations, did you inform Mr. Ford that this is something that you did not want to go forward with?
Yes.
And what came of that?
Well, you saw what came of it.
The Premier has previously defended running the ad, calling it a success. But Ford's office did not respond to a request for comment today.
Does this show that there is division within Team Canada, that the premiers don't trust you to negotiate?
I think there is, well, the individuals can speak for themselves, and you know they're practiced in speaking to themselves, and they will speak for themselves. There are other premiers who have different view in terms of the utility of those ads.
It's clear that these ads are working.
Manitoba's Wab Canoe supported Premier Ford's ad in a social media video, while BC's David Eby says he plans to go ahead with his own anti-tariff ad expected to run this month.
Who's in charge is the question, fundamentally.
Scott Reid, CTV News political commentator and former advisor to Prime Minister Paul Martin, believes there is tension between the different levels of government that should be resolved.
And there very well could be a problem, because you now have premiers saying, we're going to take steps that clearly, demonstrably, can have a measurable impact on Canada-U.S. relations.
But the premiers and the people in their provinces have different priorities. A new Nanos research survey for CTV News shows Canadians are split on how to prioritize support for industries impacted by U.S. tariffs. Agriculture ranked the highest. The auto sector was a close second, with softwood lumber, then aluminum rounding out the list.
For Mark Carney, as Prime Minister, he's got to do a lot of political juggling right now.
Now, questions about Canada's united front come as President Trump says talks won't resume as new tariffs on medium and heavy-duty trucks and truck parts came into effect.
Jeremy Sherrill, CTV News, Ottawa.
Canada's Energy and Natural Resources Minister Tim Hodgson says the government is taking steps towards reducing China's dominance in critical minerals. On Friday, the G7 Energy and Environment Ministers meeting wrapped up in Toronto by announcing the first investments in the new Critical Minerals Production Alliance. Right now, China is the dominant player in the mining and refining of rare earth elements and critical minerals. Speaking to CTV's chief political correspondent, Vashi Kapelos, on CTV's question period this morning, Minister Hodgson defended the fact that the deal not only diversifies Canada's relationships with other countries, but also provides the United States increased access to key minerals amidst the ongoing trade war.
We want to continue to have a good relationship with the United States. They are our largest trading partner. We want that relationship to be strong and robust. The Americans have decided they're going to change how the international trading system works. That's their decision. We are going to respond in ways that are good for Canada, and that means we are going to grow our relationships with other like-minded allies. We are going to reduce our dependence on one particular customer.
Rio Tinto will get about $25 million to scale up its production of scandium. Well, people in Jamaica are still sifting through what's left after Hurricane Melissa's deadly destruction. Many are scrambling to get out, including an Alberta man who lives there part-time. He can leave, but his Jamaican family cannot. Here's CTV's Kathy Lee on the immigration challenges they are now facing.
Once a postcard perfect paradise now bears the scars of Hurricane Melissa's wrath.
From the area,
one of the most powerful storms to ever strike Jamaica brought torrential rain and damaging winds, killing at least 19 people and leaving hundreds of thousands without power, including Derek Boyle and his family, whose home in Montego Bay was hit.
I've never been so scared in my life. The area that I was driving through where we were living there, it's hard to explain. It's just everything. It's just flattened, just flattened.
Rescuers and aid workers spread out across the island nation Saturday, including members of the Canadian Red Cross.
18,000 relief items. So those are shelter kits, blankets, hygiene parcels.
As relief and supplies are brought in, Canadians like Boyle are trying to get out. The Albertan lives in Jamaica part-time with his Jamaican partner, who is pregnant, and his stepson. He can go back to Canada, but his family can't due to immigration roadblocks.
I'm trying to protect my family best I can, and I can't leave here until they can come back with me.
The firm helping Boyle says the process can be long, even in urgent times.
We do understand it may be stressful, it may be frustrating, but with everything, there is a process.
But given the emergency situation, Boyle is hoping his applications are expedited.
I'm reaching out to the Canadian government, the immigration, to please approve my stepson's visa and my girlfriend and my unborn son.
Until then, he and his family have found refuge in a hotel in the capital of Kingston, waiting and praying for some good news. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
Turning now to a little encouragement for kids who might be anxious about going to the dentist. A school presentation making the rounds on PEI is helping to fight that fear. CTV's Maria Saru reports on the signs that it's working.
Ask kids how they feel about the dentist, and some will tell you,
not good.
It can be a scary experience.
Last time I was there, I had a needle right here and I couldn't eat any crunchy stuff.
The magic toothbrush is trying to change that. It's a school presentation approved by the PEI Education Department based on a book by the same name. Author Marlene Bryanton says she used to be nervous about the dentist too.
It can be very, very upsetting when you go to the office and you're so tense. I wanted the children to enjoy their visit.
The story starts with two children meeting a magician. He gifts them special toothbrushes that sing, dance, and teach them how to take care of their teeth.
I learned to brush your teeth up, down, all around, every night and morning.
When the characters visit the dentist, it feels like a fun adventure.
We talk about, the chairs and who's going to be there, what they're going to do. We talk about some of the instruments.
Island dentists say it's making a real difference in their clinics.
We have the book here. When you have a 3-year-old that's never been in a dental office before, they don't know what to expect. Any opportunity such as this book that can help to reduce that impact is great.
Back at Charlottetown's Sherwood Elementary,
I think I can go to the dentist now.
The presentation has done the trick. This big toothbrush and this storybook are off to the next island school on the calendar. Bryanton says the dream is a cross-country run with a French edition first in hopes of fewer jitters. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
For average Canadians, what they want to see is no cuts to healthcare at this particular point in time, but they're going to want to see investments in the long term.
After the break, we'll have more coverage of the federal budget ahead of its release on Tuesday. We'll also share what Pierre Poilievre had to say in Ottawa today and what he's hoping to see.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Well, it was a story of overcast skies once again today. We do have some warmth on the way, at least a little bit warmer than what we expect to see this time of year. It was a sea of orange in Vanier today. Look at that. Still some beautiful scenes out there around a sugar shack and some little woodland critters enjoying the weather as well. Dogs out for a walk. Great day for it. We did get some sun shining off through those clouds in some parts of our city, like in Manotick, but across the board it has been a little bit cool, albeit slightly above seasonal. Tomorrow's highs, we can skip right over that. I already looked at those, but 10 degrees in Gatineau and similar here in Ottawa, for those who are curious. Satellite radar showing a little bit of cloud activity and some scattered showers, very minimal scattered showers in parts of our region. It's 4 degrees right now in St. John, 6 in Charlottetown, and 5 degrees in Halifax. We are currently sitting at 5 degrees here in the capital, 8 in Toronto, and 10 degrees in Thunder Bay, which is the hot spot here in Ontario. Out on the prairies, nice day today. The sun is still shining. 7 right now in Calgary and in Edmonton. Regina at 8 degrees, and warm out on the west coast at 11 degrees with a mix of sun and clouds. So we are dipping down to 2 degrees this evening. We're usually at around -2 for this time of year, so we'll take it. And then we've got some rain to contest with tomorrow to kick off that work week with a high of 10 degrees, but at least it's not white. And so we'll take that too. 4 degrees is the low in the Ottawa Valley, 9 for tomorrow afternoon as the high, and then 1 degree is the low along the Seaway and a little warmer there. 12 degrees is the high with that same chance of showers carrying over across the region. Tuesday is going to be one of the nicer days of this week along with Thursday. You can see a mix of sun and cloud on Tuesday, a high of 9 degrees, 10 degrees on Wednesday, but we do have a 60% chance of rain. Beautiful sunny conditions on Thursday, and we get our first chance of snow overnight Saturday and into Sunday, but it looks like if it does fall, it will likely be a mix of slush. So we'll stay waiting for that. Returning now to our coverage of the upcoming federal budget, we will soon see the fiscal plan for Mark Carney's government to navigate the economic uncertainty posed by the ongoing trade war with the United States and get Canadian productivity back on track after years of decline. But as CTV's Colton Prail reports, new polling suggests a split, whether that means investing big or tackling a growing national debt.
2 days before Mark Carney presents his first federal budget, it's still not clear which party will help the minority Liberal government pass it.
We don't need a higher cost of living through a higher costed budget. We need an affordable budget for affordable lives for all Canadians.
The Conservatives and the Bloc both say they're willing to help on their own terms. Pierre Poilievre is calling for fewer taxes and less spending.
The inflation that spending has caused has landed on the shoulders of single moms and seniors and others who can't pay their bills.
But new polling by Nanos Research for CTV News shows more Canadians are willing to accept a higher level of spending if it means investing in programs for Canadians. Support for the idea is up to 47%, from 35% 2 years ago, and neck with those hoping for a balanced budget that cuts taxes.
The single most important thing this budget needs to work towards is increasing investment in Canada. We have both immediate challenges with what we're doing with the United States and long-term challenges around growth and productivity.
Support for infrastructure investment as a top budget priority has doubled since 2023, now just behind tackling the deficit. But healthcare remains the top priority for Canadians, even as issues like inflation, housing, and tariff relief take away some of the focus.
For average Canadians, what they want to see is no cuts to healthcare at this particular point in time, but they're going to want to see investments in the long term.
Mark Carney campaigned on a $4 billion investment in community health care and has repeatedly promised not to cut provincial health transfers.
While the Liberals don't have the votes on their own to pass the budget, they could do it if some opposition members abstained from voting. Asked about that today, Poilievre says his Conservative MPs will be there Tuesday and do their jobs. Colton Prail, CTV News, Ottawa.
A Quebec woman has gone from receiving a rare diagnosis to beating the odds in an extraordinary way, all while highlighting the impact and the importance of plasma donation. CTV's Rachel Lau explains.
This year, Annick Nadeau-Fréchette has run 5 marathons, 2 ultramarathons, and a 60-kilometer trail race. That's 1,200 kilometers by foot.
I'm doing for fun, because I really, really love running.
But that's not what makes her story impressive. 2 years ago, the 20-year-old was paralyzed from the head down after being diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome, a rare autoimmune condition. The body's immune system attacks its nerves, causing numbness and paralysis. She was immediately sent to intensive care.
The doctors were giving me 1 to 2 years for a recovery, and I recovered in a month.
What helped her make such a quick recovery? 40 plasma transfusions, which replaced her own plasma.
One might think that it's a medication made by Big Pharma, but no, it's a medication made by generosity of donors.
Plasma is just one type of blood donation that Hema Quebec collects.
And you look at it, it looks like water, and you think, oh my God, my life depends on this. And yes, it does. It did in Annick's cases.
The treatment saved her life. In between marathons, she's now giving back too.
It's so important to give blood because when we say it saved lives, it really means it saved lives. And it's like a self-reward after when you're done, so I encourage it.
The minute she was released from hospital, she hit the ground running, literally.
I was taking every little victory with a positive mindset.
Now, Nadeau-Fréchette is prepping for an Ironman competition in Mexico this November. And she says she has no plans of slowing down anytime soon. Rachel Lau, CTV News.
Triplet Treats. This is like me and my sister's business.
From a popular Halloween home to a sweet and successful business. After the break, we share the story of some Ontario triplets with strong entrepreneurial instincts. Well, in case you missed it this week, it has been 7 years in the making, but the Dunrobin Community Plaza is set to reopen. The strip mall, recognized as a true community hub, is located on Dunrobin Road, and it was destroyed by a tornado that tore through the region in September of 2018. CTV's Dylan Dyson reports.
The restaurant, then the post office, then the liquor store, and then Dunrobin Meat and Grocer.
For Wanda Doyle, stopping in at the Dunrobin Plaza was an almost daily occurrence.
When I first came by and saw the damage to the Dunrobin Meat and Grocer and the plaza, it was unbelievable.
The community hub was destroyed in September 2018 by a tornado that ripped through Dunrobin and west parts of Ottawa and Quebec.
It was a grocery store, was a butchery, was a liquor store, was the hub of the community.
On Wednesday, a full circle moment 7 years later as new owners announced the reopening of the Dunrobin Plaza.
I talked to a few families from here, and they say how important the plaza and how hard that whole town. So that what make me to invest in it more.
This is the end of the trauma, really, because this building had to be torn down. It couldn't be repurposed. A lot of people had roofs blown off, and it took, in many cases, years to get back on track.
The rebuilt strip mall on Dunrobin Road will have room for 8 commercial businesses.
It's going to serve the community. One of the tenants is a pharmacist, and another tenant is a dentist, and we're hoping to seal a deal with a famous franchise, a coffee shop.
The property managers are still looking to bring in businesses like a grocer and pizzeria. But for locals, this plaza was and will always be more than just a strip mall.
I think it's a great thing. I think it's good for the community. I think once we get a few people in the mall, then other people will have interest and come as well.
This building, I think, is the last of the serious damaged buildings to get repaired. And my hope is that it fills up very quickly because it really is the heart and soul of Dunrobin.
Dylan Dyson, CTV News.
A Southern Ontario family has had the most popular house on Halloween for years, and their 13-year-old triplets have turned their love of retro treats into a food truck business. CTV's Brent Lale has their story.
A love of nostalgic treats has led 13-year-old triplets to open a food truck business.
Triplet Treats. This is like me and my sister's business.
The Wenzel family from Aylmer has had the most popular house on Halloween for years by giving away fair food.
Popcorn, candy apples, caramel apples, slushy, cotton candy.
They would draw more than 600 people each Halloween.
And then my dad was just like, let's put it into a trailer and make money off of it.
Would you like a slushie? One loves cotton candy, one loves popcorn, one loves candy apples, so we can combine it and create a triplet treat. What better way for the girls to learn entrepreneurship?
The family has a history with fair foods. Mary Ann used to work at Western Fair while her husband Tyler was involved with his grandfather's pizza business.
We love the events, we love the rush, we love seeing the smiles on the kids' faces, or even the older people who get that candy apple that they haven't had or cotton candy for years.
On Halloween this year, they held a contest to bring their truck to a neighborhood in southwestern Ontario. The winning selection was Florence Street in the northwest end of St. Thomas. They even added a charitable component by raising money for 10-year-old Zachary La Liberty, who's battling cancer. While the triplets' parents may have bought the truck, the sisters are doing the heavy lifting. Ainsley loves the payoff from hard work.
Because I can see familiar faces and spend time with my family.
It will be theirs totally run once they're a little bit older. Right now, we're just helping them out. But they skipped school today, but really they learned, I heard them adding, counting, doing the multiplication of how many prep we did for our house in town of bags of cotton candy, popcorn. It's life skills. It's been fabulous.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
Still ahead, sharing details of some upcoming road work in the downtown core this week. Details on that project you'll want to know about and more when we come back. In tonight's Big Picture, it's the first official day of Polar Bear Week. It's an annual event launched by Polar Bears International. That's a non-profit organization dedicated to bears and the Arctic Sea. While polar bears always gather on the shores of the Hudson's Bay, in the fall, they are hunting seals there. Climate change is posing challenges, with Polar Bear Week meant to shine a spotlight and raise awareness. Well, turning now to some of the other stories that you need to know, and for this, we want to bring in CTV's Natalie Van Broy. Natalie.
Thanks, Austin. Well, it's a big day for the city of Gatineau as residents head to the polls to elect a mayor and 19 city councillors. Polls opened at 10 a.m. and will close at 8 p.m., so there's still 2 hours to get out and cast your ballot. This year's incumbent, Maud Marquis-Bissonnette, was elected mayor of Gatineau in a June 2024 mayoral by-election. She won with more than 40% of the vote. Commuters should watch out for traffic headaches around the intersection of Laurier Avenue and Elgin Street starting Tuesday. The city will start work to improve cycling and pedestrian safety at that intersection. And during the construction, there will be lane reductions on 2 roadways. This comes after a 27-year-old woman died after being hit by a pickup truck at that intersection. And in 2019, a cyclist died in a hit and run at that same intersection.
Tim Stutzler the other way with Dylan Cousins. Stutzler to the net, scores!
A slick goal by Tim Stutzler last night in Montreal. The Ottawa Senators back on the road, facing off against the Canadiens last night. And despite that go-ahead goal, the Habs would tie things up in the third before winning in overtime. 4-3 is the final score, and the Sens continue their road trip next week when they face the Boston Bruins on Thursday. The 11th annual Black Tie Bingo raised tens of thousands last night for specialized medical equipment in Ottawa. Our very own CTV Ottawa anchors Patricia Bull and Stefan Keys emceed the elegant event at the Infinity Convention Centre. 500 guests gathered for high-stakes bingo to raise money for Brie Health, which will be used to buy medical equipment for those in need. And the housing industry was front and center at the 42nd Annual Housing Design Awards Gala last night as well. CTV Your Morning Ottawa anchors Melissa Lamb and Will Aiello handed out trophies on stage. And the gala celebrates trailblazing builders, designers, renovators, and architects. Austin.
Yeah, it looked like a couple of really fun events. I know for Black Tie Bingo, Stefan and Patricia were probably pretty stressed because you got the game going on, but you also the Jays game, but you also want to make sure you're focused on the task at hand. So
it's true. I saw some updates from Patricia. It looked like they had the game on at the event as well, so they were keeping score while playing bingo. You know, that's some multitasking.
No kidding. After the break, we'll take you to Mexico, where the vibrant Day of the Dead celebrations are underway. Before we go to break, there's a look at our Centennial Glass Skycam. It's 5 degrees.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's a recap of the top stories we're following right now.
If it becomes a hassle to get down here, we just won't.
Concerns are swirling around the plan for Lansdowne 2.0 as the local Trades Council sends a scathing letter to City Council critical of the city's choice of contractors that are tasked with completing the mega project.
We need to be thinking about diversification in terms of exports, but also how we work with other countries.
We preview a critical federal budget, one that could trigger a federal election. It's set to be released on Tuesday as the trade war with the United States drags on.
It's overwhelming and beautiful with all the things to see.
And the ever-popular World Bazaar reopens its doors for the season. It's offering shoppers a unique place to find some rare gifts. And last check on your weather forecast. We do expect things to stay a little bit above seasonal. I've been saying that over and over again because it's true. Waking up to 7 degrees, but the rain will be coming down, unfortunately, as we take a quick look now at the 7-day forecast that shows the highlight is probably going to be on Thursday. Condition-wise, nothing but sunshine. Expect a wet 7 days. Okay, well, it's obviously not just the Byward Market that's getting festive for the Day of the Dead.
That's right. We take you to Mexico City for the highly anticipated event.
The So the celebrations start on October 31st when families welcome the souls of their dead loved ones with lights, candles, incense, and their favorite foods, along with drinks and toys to reenact them, or rather reconnect with them. The day blends Indigenous beliefs about the afterlife with Catholicism, and it is seen as an act of remembrance that preserves the traditions, and some unique costumes there as well. It's very fun. Very cool to see.
That looks like fun. Like, look at
does.
those beautiful costumes,
Yeah.
and looks great.